And we are very happy to have you with us again this week. And today we have a very, very fantastic guest with us and a very important topic. And Kerri, if you would like to introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure thing. My name is Kerri Gaskin. I'm a counseling therapist with a practice in Riverview. I'm a mom, so I get all the kids' stuff. I'm a wife and a sister and a longtime community resident. A little bit about me.
A little bit. Now, she's leaving out the fact that she's like multiple award winner just in this past week.
Yes.
She started the week off winning an Albert County Chamber of Commerce award. Congratulations.
Thank you. And you as well.
Thank you. Yeah. And then just most recently, you got a very cool award. Tell everybody what that is.
I did. I received a volunteer award from the City of Dieppe, which included a commendation from the House of Commons for my volunteer work in the free mental health clinic that I run in Moncton weekly.
Fantastic.
So that was really exciting.
That is extremely exciting. That's huge.
Yeah.
So Kerri is the owner of Coverdale Counselling, if
That's
you would
correct.
like to check her out. And today we're going to talk about a topic that I need some serious information on.
This is Tosh's counseling session.
This is. Welcome. My kids are very jealous of each other, and there's a lot of fighting that goes on in our house. Because of I don't know, they fight over me. I guess they really like me, which is nice. Yeah, it's a nice problem.
That's what we were going to do here.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to talk to you about when is it too much and what's normal. I know that normal's not the right word, but
every family with siblings has some amount of back and forth. And
Absolutely.
When do you worry about it as a parent?
And those are really good questions. And the thing is, I think it is important to normalize it, right? To recognize that, many kids are lucky enough to have their siblings be their best friends, right? They grow up, but the reality is, as long as there's more than one kid in the house, some degree of sibling rivalry, jealousy, envy is inevitable, right? That's part and parcel of it. It often even begins before new baby brother or sister even arrives.
Yes.
Right? The older sibling starts to feel that, parents' attention is on developing baby stuff, new baby room. Maybe older sibling gets moved to a new room, right? Oh, you're not in the nursery anymore. This is for baby. So there is that. And if you're like me, it exhausts you, right? The bickering, the squabbling,
Yes.
the teasing,
Yes.
and you're just constantly wondering, why? Why are they fighting over who got 3 French fries and who got 2? Tosh may have shared that with me earlier.
Yeah, it happens often.
Who gets to get in the bath first versus who gets in last?
Right. Yeah. And we all want to figure out kind of how to create warm, close relationships, promote that in our kids because, and I think about as we're aging, our parents are aging, and someday it'll just be me and my brother.
Yep.
Right? So wanting to create that warm relationship for our kids so that someday they have each other. Right? And it's hard. It's hard. And there's so much that makes you feel furious, right? Helpless, maybe out of control, exasperated. You feel completely overwhelmed. You're just exhausted by it. And you worry that your kids might get physically hurt.
Yep.
Right?
That's that's when I jump in.
That's your moment,
oh,
right?
no, your hands are on his neck. No.
Yes, and
Now I need
I
to
think that
step in.
serious physical harm is definitely an intervention moment for sure. But we also worry about emotional harm, right? And I actually have seen adults who are carrying around stuff from when they were a kid. There was that pivotal moment in their childhood when a sibling said or did something that stuck with them, and they're carrying that hurt well into their adulthood. We worry that our kids might become bullies, right? If this is how they're behaving. We worry that they're going to have poor relationships, that they lack empathy. And these are all, kind of appropriate worries for a parent to have. So just rest assured, those are normal, whatever normal the heck means.
Yeah. You are not alone.
Thank you.
You're definitely not alone. I mean, I often say that I haven't met a normal person yet, but there are natural common concerns. And it's amazing to me as I work with parents and I work with kids, the profound diversity of ways that kids can find to tease, taunt, torment each other, name-calling, blaming, stealing things from each other, lying about behaviors, looking at each other.
Oh,
It's
yes.
Looking.
Yeah,
Right?
I have one that is so good at that. Yeah. I know exactly where it comes from. Just that look at that little
Yeah.
That hidden little, like, you can't see what I'm doing, Mom.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, exactly. I can see it because I've done it.
Yes.
All of those things. And then progressing into more physical behaviors, the hitting, the kicking, even tattling, right? And we can talk a little bit about some of those as we progress. It feels unnecessary as parents, right? We look at it and think, why? Why is this happening? And ultimately what it boils down to is that our kids are competing for resources and for limited resources. Mm-hmm. Now that may be the TV remote. There's only one. Right? Or it may be mom or dad's attention. We're competing for that resource, and we are biologically wired for survival.
Right.
So on a very instinctual level, it is that sense of, I need to get the things that I need. And if you're in my way, you better watch out, right? So, and different children will have different responses to that. And so sometimes sibling rivalry, the degree of it, will depend on a child's temperament. Your child who is more withdrawn is more likely to be the recipient of some of that stuff.
Second child.
Or maybe you have a child who is very good with words. And their way of kind of destroying their sibling is to cut them down at the knees with their words. And then maybe you have the more physically aggressive child who will crack them over the head with a dinky toy. So there's different kinds of things that go on. And I think, Jenna, you made the good point of when do we step in, right? When do we step in? And I kind of look at it like traffic lights. So, green, okay. They're arguing. They're disagreeing. I know it's round 57 with no end in sight. Right? There's no TKO, I hope not, on the horizon. But are they actually learning conflict resolution skills? Right? And this is where our kids learn those first skills is with their siblings, right? How to resolve conflict. So if there's no kind of escalated voices, if there's no slamming doors, if there's no name calling, if you don't anticipate any physicality, that's a green light. Okay. Let them figure it out, resolve it. Yellow light, the voices are starting to escalate, right? Okay, we might be approaching danger zone here. I'm going to listen. And then red light, name calling, physicality, doors slamming, those kinds of things. So knowing that those are kind of the levels in which we intervene. Really great strategy that I love is if you're listening and you hear that yellow light and the voices are starting to get a little, I think this could go south really quick. Just calmly walk into the room. Instead of, I don't care who started it, right? Because that's sometimes where we go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care who said what.
Yeah.
Rather than that.
Hear that.
Right? I heard you. Rather than doing that, walking in and just saying, hey guys, in 5 minutes, we're all going to go outside for a little while. Now, I know that, given this past winter that lasted 9.5 months, that may be challenging. Guaranteed.
Something to switch.
It switches things, right? It switches the mindset, and they're thinking, oh, we're going to go outside. You don't stay. You walk away. Go have a cup of coffee. Enjoy that hot coffee. Because it's a rare thing.
It's a rare thing,
It's a rare thing. Then go back in 5 minutes. I would 95% say that they've switched gears. That they found a new game to play. That they're raring to go outside and splash around in the puddles. But it's just that redirect in a calm way, right? Can be a really helpful way to encourage kids to take a breath without coming in and saying calm down, because nowhere in the history of the world has anyone ever calmed down from being told to calm down.
Yes.
Right? It's like a red
you gotta
flag.
be sneaky about it. You gotta be sneaky about it.
You've got to be really clever about how you get your kids to calm down.
Yes.
And then when it's that time of day where this is round 57,
right?
It's hard for as the parent to walk in there calmly, and that's where I get to. Like every night, I'm making supper, and it's going and going and going in the background, and then I lose it.
You lose it.
Yeah.
And that's really important. Our kids learn what they live, right? So if our role model is snapping and into kind of verbal aggression or loud voices or slamming doors or slamming down that cutting board because I'm just trying to make dinner.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
Right.
So, and it can be really hard, of course, in the heat of things to take that step back. So a strategy that I use actually with probably most of my clients, children and adults alike, is stop.
Okay.
Okay? So you've got that moment. You're trying to cook dinner, which is not your favorite thing to do.
That's right.
You're already in the stress.
Yeah,
You're already there,
yeah.
right? It is round 57. The kids are just like on your final nerve. Picture a stop sign in your head.
Okay.
See it, that big red stop sign with that beautiful, reflective octagon, and say stop. Not to them,
No.
to yourself,
Yeah.
internally. And like, this is not something you necessarily want to say when you're worked up in the grocery store line, because people tend to look at you.
Yeah.
But just, stop and picture it. Picture the stop sign. So that's the S.
Okay.
Then T. Take a breath. Slow breath, low and slow. And what that does, it gives us a moment, right? It gives us just a second, but it also drops our cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone.
Right.
When we're living in elevated cortisol all the time, we're at higher risk for things like heart attack and stroke. And then, we really don't want that, right?
Not last I checked. No.
No, and the older we get, the more that's...
The more becomes an issue, right? So stop, take a breath. Take 2 or 3 if you need to,
Right. Yeah.
So stop and take a breath, then observe.
Okay.
In this moment, what's really going on? If I asked you quickly, you'd say, I'm angry. But that's like the top of the iceberg, right? Underneath is what's actually going on. So observe your own reactions. What am I really feeling or experiencing in this moment? I'm on a time crunch. I've got an event to get to, and I just need to get this done. I'm feeling frustrated. Or, you know what? I had a really crummy day at work. I said something that I feel like is stupid, so I'm embarrassed, and I've been chewing on that all day.
Right.
Right? Or I'm tired. Or I'm just plain old hungry. I'm basically like,
you're hangry.
I need a Snickers bar. Right? I've never eaten one in the pantry, by the way.
Never.
No, I had those in the van.
Exactly.
Solo adventure.
So it's kind of like that moment when, when you're a little girl and you're scared of the dark, and there's that monster under the bed. And the minute you turn the light on, and you see, oh, it's my Barbie camper. I didn't actually have a Barbie camper. I would have loved to have had one. But it's that Barbie camper. It's not a
from
monster.
childhood that stay
right?
with
It
you,
still
right?
stays with me.
Yeah.
As soon as we name it, as soon as we identify it, it's less scary. And then we're in charge. It's that emotion, that emotional dysregulation is not in control anymore. We are. So stop, take a breath, observe. What am I really feeling or thinking? And then proceed with the plan. Okay. Hey guys, I see you really want Mommy's attention. You know what would be great? Let's make a game. Who can get the knives and forks on the table fastest? Right? Who would like to help me chop celery? I mean, age-appropriate stuff,
yeah.
right? Who would like to stir the pasta? And get them involved instead of, would you guys stop and get out of the kitchen?
It's like she's
Gee,
been
I was
listening.
going to say, where are you at my house?
Like they are recording on my Google Home Mini.
So creepy. But really, just, finding some tools that help you de-escalate. And what you're doing in that moment, you're not just calming yourself. You're showing your kids really good coping skills and how to be regulated, which is going to, benefit them in the long run.
Absolutely. Okay, things to think. And then
I'm ready.
I'm
going to do this tonight.
Yes, tonight, dinner time, I've got this. Okay, my next question rolls into, how do we know when our kids may need therapy? Maybe not necessarily for the jealousy thing, but anything in general. Yeah.
Yeah, pardon me. That's a really important question. And it will vary from child to child, right? Because everybody has different coping skills. Everybody's able to manage their stressors in different ways. Key points. If what your child is experiencing emotionally is interfering with their sleep, right? If you see changes in their appetite, either eating more or eating less, withdrawing from friends or peers, maybe refusing to do an activity or a sport that they were really, really into before, choosing to isolate themselves, from the family, maybe just wanting to spend time in their room by themselves, not engaging. A normally talkative child who is quieter.
Okay.
A normally pleasant and compliant child who is suddenly aggressive or argumentative. These would be good opportunities to start the conversation. And obviously, serious things like self-harm are important. And self-harm takes many different forms, but those would be moments for, immediate intervention. But starting the conversation. So, hey, Jenna, I noticed that you're kind of quiet lately. Do you want to talk to Mom, or would you like to talk to somebody else? You're like, no. You're like, no.
That's all I get.
No. But listen, and just having and kind of front loading that conversation, saying, you know what, there are people whose job it is just to hang out with kids and that you can tell
Nice
them
way
something.
to frame it.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of framing it that way.
Right,
That's a
rather
nice-
than this is
nice
someone
wording.
safe to talk to, it's someone whose their job is just to hang out with kids. So when kids come to my office, they'll have, I've got slime, which is basically banned in my house.
I was just gonna say, you're brave. Yeah.
Maybe some Lego. We'll, haul out the colored pencils, the markers, the glitter. Seriously, things that I would not have in my house. Glitter.
This is why the kids come back.
Yeah.
To play with the
But
fun stuff with
it gives
Kerri.
them an opportunity to engage in a safe way. So we might play sorry or trouble and just then start the talking. And so if you frame it to your kid around, this is a place where you can go and just hang out with someone who really likes kids and will just listen to you. And you know what? She doesn't have to tell me what you're telling her. And that's really important that they know that this is a safe place, that it's not about keeping secrets.
Right.
Because I always tell every child, if there's something that I think mom or dad needs to know, we're going to tell them, but you and I are going to figure out a way to tell them together, right? So that kind of gives that child that sense of, there's somebody on my team, right?
Right.
When a child is experiencing bullying, intense anxiety, any of those things, they can feel very alone. So knowing that they have someone who's, Team Sally is really important.
Do you have an age limit? Like in your practice, they obviously have to be able to speak.
Clearly,
but
yeah. Right now, I'd say probably my youngest client's around 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I have seen some younger kids, but just generally that's about around grade 2 or 3 is when parents start to really notice changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's, for me, that's kind of that age where you're like, oh, okay, this isn't just a phase. This isn't part of, I think a lot of that early stuff,
Yeah.
you can kind of be like, I think this is just, them learning how this part works.
Exactly.
But if it's still going on by the time, you're hitting 7, 8, you're like,
you're like,
this is a pattern, or this is
actually a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and that's really important to be mindful of that, right? That, okay, this isn't just we moved houses and they're feeling a little bit displaced. This is lasting, right? And so it's also, when we're thinking about when do we send our kid to therapy, how long has this been going on? Did it just start this week? Okay, let's wait it out a little bit. Still happening? Okay, we need some intervention. And there are some fantastic therapists in Moncton for kids. There are some really phenomenal folks here. We're very fortunate.
Every now and then when I look it up, because I'm just kind of amazed at how many there are,
Yeah.
because I think it's also something that people don't think about as much and don't realize. I think people are more so now starting to think of it.
Yes.
But for years, it was not a common thing.
Not so
that people
much,
thought
yeah,
of.
exactly. But there are some really phenomenal practitioners here in the Greater Moncton area. We're very fortunate that way.
Well, and I've noticed a lot of attention in the school system as well. I know especially our
Definitely.
school
Yes.
is just fantastic and amazing. And, everything from within the classroom, the kids are doing meditation and yoga and calming techniques in class, to having a counselor in the school and having, they do these really great little groups where they'll take kids from a couple different classrooms, a couple different ages.
And spend some time
And spend
together.
some time,
Absolutely.
working on, they actually, some of the coloring sheets I've seen them do are exactly the same ones that I've
That
printed
you would
off.
do, right? Yes.
Right from the Big Life Journal and
The
there's
Big
lots
Life
of,
Journal's a phenomenal resource, for
and
parents.
you can find all this stuff for free online.
Absolutely,
And,
yeah.
if your kid's old enough to read, I just kind of keep leaving them on the table.
and there's
Someone will pick these up.
Somebody's going to
That's kind of what I do. That's kind of my strategy. I'm like, do we need this? I'm just going to leave this here.
But,
You can read
and
it.
there's some really great
It's not a bad
resources.
strategy, though.
It is not
Okay,
bad,
yeah.
right? Just
No,
leave
right.
it there.
Yeah.
Big Life Journal, you mentioned that. I was going to mention it. It's a really fantastic resource for parents and kids alike. They have amazing printables. With girls, the American Girls series of books, they
yeah, I've
have
heard
some
incredible
really
things
great
about them.
resources. Smart Girl's Guide to Worry, a Smart Girl's Guide to Friendship Troubles.
I heard a lot of people reference that one when it comes to dealing with puberty and questions
Yeah, The
around
Care
your
and
body.
Keeping of You. It's an excellent book, and it's totally age appropriate around what is happening to me, right?
Not Judy Bloom. Are you there, God?
yeah.
That's what I got. Here you go.
So these are really age appropriate,
Yeah.
inaccessible language. So there are some great resources out there that are really easy for parents to grab and share with their kids.
And that was one thing that was on my mind, is how, as the parent, do you decide when you need the help?
Same criteria, right? Is it interfering with my sleep? Is it affecting my relationships? Is it affecting the relationship with my kids? Is it interfering with my work, my appetite? Am I binge watching Netflix, eating covered bridge chips? And
Again,
And-
why are these people in my house?
Have I started to withdraw from activities that I enjoy, right? These would be the same kind of markers. Maybe I should talk to someone, right? I'm holding an anxiety workshop this week for parents of kids who have anxiety symptoms. So that's, I'm looking forward to that. We've done this a couple of times, and it's a great way for parents to kind of get some resources and tools that also are really helpful for themselves.
Yes.
Right? The biggest piece, and I talk about it, and it's a bit of a, social media meme. I'm self-caring today, hashtag self-care Saturday.
Yeah.
But I really frame it around not so much that self-care, I'm going to the spa and I'm eating hand-dipped chocolates, although, if you're willing to pay, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm totally there.
We say that all the time. Someone's going to send us. We'll go.
We'll test it out. We'll let you know if it works.
Exactly. But reframing that as self-compassion and giving yourself permission to take care of yourself so that you're better able to take care of the littles in your life. Right? And we talk all the time about the oxygen mask analogy when you're flying, and it really is true. If you can't breathe, you can't help anyone. So taking the time, and this is like the first thing that I tell parents, taking the time to make sure that your well is full, right? Because you can't keep dipping into it and expecting the reserves to be unending. We need to replenish so that we can be the best possible moms and dads and caregivers for those littles in our lives.
And they take so much of your well, even if it's full when you first get out,
right? They do.
But they really do. Like by the time breakfast is done and they're on the bus going to school, I'm already spent.
You're ready for another shower.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a second breakfast and absolutely.
So just making sure that you're recharging is critical to ensuring that you're best suited to support them through whatever they're experiencing.
Perfect. A big problem these days, and I'm sure it always has been, but now people are more aware of it, is childhood anxiety.
Yeah.
What are some main points or things for parents to notice right away that their kids may have anxiety? I.e., I have a nail biter, and she's only 4,
right?
And she's been biting her nails since she got teeth. So, was she born with anxiety, or is that a habit?
So, anxiety. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
So, really simplistic description, anxiety is an emotion that's felt in our bodies, right? It's felt in our bodies. It's chest pains. It's tummy aches. That's a big one with kids, right?
Yes.
The sore tummy. Your pediatrician will probably call it functional belly pain, right? So it's not that it's caused by any biological factor necessarily. Your kid doesn't have worms, they don't have a GI infection, it's not that. It's a functional belly pain that is a result of anxiety. That's really common. Again, the sleep disruption, nightmares, sweating, rapid heart rate. Maybe you see them clenching or tensing. So all the same things that we would experience as anxiety, physical symptoms that your kids are experiencing, and you may see it. They may say, "Mommy, my chest feels funny," or "I feel foggy," or "I can't remember things." Right? Those would be good examples of some of the symptoms we could look for. And again, withdrawing, deciding that they don't want to be with their friends, describing nobody likes me, right? I don't want to go to school. So school refusal is a really big one. Daycare refusal, school refusal, really big one. Regressions, suddenly wanting to sleep in mom and dad's bed again after having been on their own for a long time. Okay. Those would be good examples of what you could see in anxiety.
Okay, excellent. I think that we're running out of time, so I think we should have Kerri back to talk more about that another day.
There's a whole other list to come back. There's all kinds of other things. But I think that's that one's a hard one in our house these days. That whole trying to decide when it's you don't want to go because there's an anxiety issue, or you don't want to go because you'd rather stay home and play.
Right. Yeah.
And that is a difficult one. It really is
that,
a hard one. You're right. Yeah. And that is that's
which
a whole
one
episode.
Is it?
It really is.
And it's so determined by each kid.
Right?
It
is.
Each kid, some kids just don't want to go to school. Others don't want to go because of a reason that they need
That's
help
right.
with,
And I know with my 2, I could say, okay, that's because anxiety. That's because
It's way more fun. You're going.
It's way more fun.
Yeah, Paw Patrol's here.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so before we go, how about we tell everybody how they can find you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Easy. So you can find me online at coverdalecounseling.ca. That's counseling with 2 L's because we're in Canada. Just had to, get my English degree background in there.
I wondered why there was, then that makes sense.
Yeah, it's Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're the writer, not me.
So
It's
Coverdale
different if you're a
Counselling.
counselor in city council as
That's
well.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook, same place, Coverdale Counselling on Facebook, Instagram, Coverdale Counselling. You can find me on Pinewood Road in Riverview. I'm easy to find, right across from the fire station.
Yes.
So super convenient, lots of parking. You can give me a call, 830-6998, or email me info@coverdalecounselling.ca.
Perfect.
Lots of places.
Lots of places. I love it. That's fantastic. You're easily accessible.
Try to be.
That's right. And you do free clinics on Wednesdays.
I do.
Yes.
This is for adults.
Yes.
So it serves those 18 and over in the Greater Moncton area. And that's with the Canadian Mental Health Association downtown in Moncton. It's a free clinic. So like zero charge, accessible for everyone. Call the CMHA on Tuesday afternoon to book your appointment, 859-8114. And I also do see a fair number of, I hold seats in each of my workshops in my private practice for pro bono. So if someone is really needing to work on an area and I'm offering a workshop, call me, message me, and I'll see what I can do to get to a free seat.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you.